What up, y'all? It's your boy Young Mugs back with another video. I got a little story time for y'all. Alright, so before I started doing Instart and Spark, I had a job. I was working at a warehouse called Ready Raw. They sell like chicken, all types of meats, French fries, vegetables. They sell mad stuff. They sell to like restaurants and stuff like that. So they like the wholesale, and they, you know, distribute to like restaurants, companies, all types of stuff. So I was working there. I was working hard too, like unloading like 2 containers a day. We had to unload mad fried trucks. I used to drive the forklift. I used to do a lot of stuff there. I'm gonna try to get some video of me driving the forklift and stuff like that, but I got some videos of me in the container and stuff like that. I'm gonna show y'all right now. Got me in this container, man. My supervisor not here, so we got the substitutes. Show y'all a little bit of work. Always trying to rush us, man. We be knocking these containers out. So like 6 months in working there, I was realizing that like I'm doing all this work, I'm working mad hard, and I don't got nothing to show for it. I barely was touching $500 a week. So barely touching 500 to 500 plus in 3 days. And I was working about 8 hours a day, sometimes doing overtime, so 10 hours. And I was barely scraping 500. I was making like $495 a week. And I just had just enough to get by. Like I was paying rent at the time. I didn't even have a lot of bills neither. I had rent, my phone bill, my car insurance, and that was it. And I had, live, but I barely had rent. So imagine if I had like a $1,200 rent. My rent was only $400 because I live at my family house. So I'm only paying, I still pay that to this day. I pay $450 now. But it's just me, my uncle, and my little cousin. So, we all help out. We pay all the bills together. We all help out. But that was my only 3 bills I had. Now I got 4 bills. I got my car payment, car insurance, phone bill, rent. So I added another bill. And all my little stuff like Netflix and stuff like that, like little things. But I really didn't have a lot of bills, and I was like, I was living really check to check. So I'm like, man, I'm working hard, bro. Like I don't make enough money to save. Like I'm barely getting, like I'm getting by, but that's all I'm doing is getting by. Like I ain't have enough money to buy clothes, sneakers, none of that. Like, so 6 months in, I started thinking about it. I'm like, yo, man, something gotta give, bro. I gotta do something. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna, like eat out. I'm not gonna spend any extra money on anything that I don't have to spend money on. Like only my bills, that's it. So I saved my money. I saved up about like $1,000. It took me, I was there for like a year before I got this car. So at the 6 month point, I started thinking like, yo, I gotta get out of here. So the next 6 months, I was saving up money. Like I was only being able to put like $50 here, $100 here, $20 here, $30 here. But I was just saving money up. So 6 months later, I saved up $1,000. So I went on Facebook Marketplace, and I started looking up cars, like, to do, like, I was trying to get a new car so I could do gig work. Because I used to work at Amazon before I worked at Ready Roll. And I was delivering. I was a driver. I was making good money at Amazon, I ain't gonna lie. But I was a driver at first, then I got promoted to a dispatcher, then they let me go. Because I don't know, they just started doing funny stuff. Like they was hiring mad drivers that didn't speak English. So I couldn't communicate. And I'm a dispatcher, so I gotta communicate with the drivers. So one of my boys, he was a driver at the time, he had introduced me to Uber Eats. That's my first introduction to gig work. So I started doing Uber Eats like when I got off of work, on the side, on the weekends, stuff like that. And I was realizing like, okay, this is something new here. Like this is something I could do. Like I drive all the time anyway, so it's like, all right, bet, I'm gonna drive for me. So that's my first introduction to gig work. So they hiring all these drivers that I couldn't talk to. So it was making my job harder. So they ended up letting me go. I collected unemployment for a while. I got a job at a construction company. I only worked there for like 3 months because the dude that owned it, he never paid nobody on time, and I needed my money. I couldn't do that, so I left that job. Then I ended up moving down south to North Carolina. I was working on my dude opened up a car lot, so I was working on a car lot, selling cars and stuff like that, washing cars, just doing little stuff. And then COVID hit, so when COVID hit, I came back home to be around my family. Just in case things happen, I'll be here. So I stayed here. Then I got the job at Ready Roll, which is the warehouse. So then fast forward later, a year later, now I saved up $1,000, and I found this car. They was doing like a deal, $500 down, and you could get the car. But they ended up, you had to have good credit. So worst come to worst. Matter of fact, I didn't even save up $1,000. I saved up $500. Yeah, I saved up $500, and I was looking to see what I could do. I saw that, I went there, and it ended up, I had to put down $1,000 because my credit wasn't so good, and I had to get my mom to co-sign for me. So my mom gave me, she loaned me $500, and I had $1,000. Put down $1,000, I got the car. Working there, like I was barely able to make the payments for the car. So I'm like, dang, bro, I gotta start doing gig work. So I signed up for Instart. Yeah, I signed up for Instart. Crystal told me about Instart or whatever, so I signed up for Instart. Started doing Instart. Like I still was working though. Started doing Instart, and then at first it was, you know, it was all right. It wasn't like nothing crazy. I wasn't getting a lot of money because my area was trash where I live at. Nobody tipping, so the orders was crazy. I'm driving mad miles for $20, $15. And I was just doing that like when I had extra time. Like when I get out of work, I'll go do Instacart. I had a good shift though. I was working 6 a.m. to 2:30, so I had a lot of time after work to do Instacart. So I would do Instacart after work, and then I'm like, it was doing all right. It was giving me extra money in my pocket, helping me pay my payments. So like I stayed at Ready Roll for like another 3 more months. So I was doing that, and then I had got an order. And it brought me out to this area that I'm in right now. It brought me out here. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stay in this area and see how it is over here. So the money was good out here. I was getting good tips. One day I worked like 4 hours and made like $150. So I was like, oh. So I was like, you know what? I called out. I used my vacation time at Ready Roll for like a week. Used my vacation time, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do Instacart this whole week in this area, and I'm gonna see what happens. So I did Instacart for a whole week, made $1,000. I was like, what? I could make $1,000? So I was like, if I can make $1,000 in a week, I'll be all right. I'll be able to pay my car payment, pay all my stuff like a week and a half. I'll be able to pay all my bills. So I started after I took my little week vacation. So I got paid for that because I had vacation time. So I got paid for that. And I got the $1,000 that week. So I was like at $1,500. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just sit on this $1,500. My bills wasn't due yet. So I ended up just kept calling out of Ready Roll so they could fire me so I could collect unemployment. But they ended up firing me, and they never gave me unemployment still to this day. And that was 4 or 5 years ago. 4.5, almost 5 years ago. So I just quit the warehouse job, and I started doing gig work. Started doing Instacart at first. Instacart was good. It was booming. Then my lady Crystal told me about Spark. Signed up for Spark. I got approved in like 2 weeks because it had just came around in my area. So they let me on, started doing Spark, and I would never go back. Never go back to a 9 to 5. Like, I can't, because I was barely touching 500 in a week doing hard labor, working so hard, like body was hurting after, feet was hurting, like it was crazy. So once I started doing gig work, I'm like, you know what? This is what it is. So now, you know, I don't plan, this is not like my end goal though. Like, I'm using this gig work to start, you know, other things, so that, you know, I'm gonna keep doing gig work to give y'all these videos, but I'm not trying to do gig work every day. Like, I'm gonna do, you know, I'm gonna film my videos for y'all, and that's it. But I'm trying to get into some other stuff, you know, some other stuff that'll bring me a lot more money. But this is the start right here. This is the foundation. This is gonna get me to that point. Working at Ready Roll would have never got me to the point where I want to be, because I couldn't save no money. I couldn't, like, I was just getting by. Like, it's crazy. Like, and that's what 9 to 5s are designed to do. They're designed for you to work hard and sweat and blood, sweat, and tears, so that the company owners could get rich. And the amount of money that they're making, they're giving you pennies compared to that. So it's like you working, they're getting rich off of your back, your hard work, blood, sweat, and tears. So it's like, I want to do that for me. Like, I want to work hard and better myself, put that money in my pocket, build my wealth, you know what I'm saying, instead of working hard to build somebody else's wealth that I'm not even getting no percentage of. Like, that's what a 9 to 5 is designed to do though. Like, in this day and time, like, unless you got 2 jobs, sometimes 3 jobs, you can't really, like, you just getting by, you living check to check. You gotta have more than 1 job. Like, you can't just survive off a 9 to 5 unless you got like some crazy paying job. And it's a low percentage of us in the country that's got those high paying jobs like that. So there's more people living check to check than people that's good. Even the people that's got good paying jobs, they got a big house, they live in a nice neighborhood, so they gotta pay more money. So now they live in check to check. So it's like, man, I can't do that, bro. Like, I don't want to live like that for the rest of my life. Like, working hard, sweating tears until I'm 65 years old, retired, and live off a pension for the rest of my life. Like, what kind of life is that? That's the old way of thinking. That's old school. Like, a lot of people are stuck in the old way of thinking. Like, back in the day, that's how everything was. You get a job, you work until you retire, and then you live off your money that you get from Social Security, whatever. You live off your pension, whatever. Like, that's the old way of thinking. There's a lot of money out here to be made nowadays. Like, we got so many resources. We got the internet. I make money off my phone. Like, I literally turn on my phone and make money. You couldn't do that back in the day. Back in the day, you didn't even have cell phones. There was no internet. So it's like, we got so many resources now. Why are we letting these resources go to waste? Like, why are we settling for a 9 to 5? Like, I don't get it. Why? You know, people are just brainwashed and stuck. And even people in the comments, like, some people will come and say, oh, you ain't gonna have no Social Security. Yes, I will. I have a 1099. I could put money towards my Social Security. Like, I don't understand. There's benefits. There's everything that you get in a 9 to 5, I can get with a 1099. I'm my own boss. I own my business. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a private contractor. I don't work for nobody. I work with people. I have a contract with Spark. I have a contract with Instart. When you sign up for these things, they give you a contract. You got to read it and sign it. You know what I'm saying? I don't work for Spark. Like, Spark can't tell me you got to get up and go to work today. No, I work when I choose to work. It's the difference. People are like, yo, you still work for somebody. No, I don't. I work with Spark. You know what I'm saying? They're not giving me hours to work. They're not telling me, oh, you can't take off today. Oh, you're going to get fired if you take off. Nah, I work whenever I want to work. That's the difference. And I have a 1099. They're not taking out taxes. I got to pay my own taxes. There's a difference. I'm my own boss. If you can't understand that, then I don't know what to tell you. But at the end of the day, this is gonna get me to the point where I want to be. This is gonna help me save money. Like, I'm telling you, this winter y'all gonna see a whole different grind. Like, I'm about to go crazy. September, I haven't took a day off yet. You know, we early in September yet. It's only been, what, today's like the 5th. I haven't took a day off yet. I worked every day of September so far. And I plan on, you know, I'll probably take off a Saturday here and there, but just to give my body some rest, give my car a break. But other than that, I'm not really taking no breaks this month. So, like, I went from working hard at a warehouse, barely getting any money, to being able to save money, being able to put money aside, being able to do different things, being able to travel. Like, I could if I wanted to. I haven't done it yet because I haven't been like working OD hard, you know. And it's not even working OD hard. Like, y'all see what I do. I show y'all every day. Like, I'm barely doing any work, delivering packages to houses, going shopping for customers. This is really easy. Like, it's the easiest job I ever done. That's why I've been doing it for 5 years now. 4.5, almost 5 years. Like, I'm not going back to the 9 to 5. Like, I'm not. Like, I'm about to just keep building. Like, right now, I'm working on getting some things done so I could, you know, really start getting more money. And I don't want to say it right now. I don't want to jinx myself. You know, when you start talking about things you're trying to do, for me personally, I don't know, I can't speak for anybody else, but whenever I talk about things I want to do to people, it seems to like never work out. Like, I always get thrown monkey wrenches, like, in the program. Like, everything always just start falling apart. So I'm about to just do it. Like, no more talking about it. I'm gonna just show y'all when I get it rolling. So yeah, like, this is the reason why I won't go back to a 9 to 5. This is the reason why I quit my warehouse job, because I started doing Instart and I started making way more money than what I was making working double time hard. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was working like 10 times harder than what I'm doing right now. And I'm getting more money. I'm working less stress on my body. The only thing I got to do is drive. That's it, really. That's the most work I'm doing, is driving. And that's not hard. Like, all my jobs really been driving jobs, most of them. I had a couple different jobs, but most of my jobs been driving jobs. So I'm a driver. That's what I do. Like, but yeah, man, if you got any questions or how you want to, you know what I'm saying, quit your job or stop working a 9 to 5, just leave them in the comments. I'll answer them. I might start doing lives too, just to, you know, answer questions and talk to y'all directly. But yeah, man, like, 9 to 5s nowadays, unless you're a lawyer, doctor, or a tech, or you're an engineer, or, you know, you're not really making that much money in a 9 to 5. Like, and then when you do, it's like you got rent, you got all these bills, you got kids, you got, you know, things you got to do. So it's like, it just balances out. Like, but I'm gonna end this video right here. This your boy Young Mugs, and I'm out. Peace.